Howdy and hello, I'm Doe. Hope you're doing good. Here's the devs explaining why they nerfed and buffed stuff in the Escalation of Freedom update, the biggest update yet in their own words. And my question is, do you feel as though you have more loadout options after the update or less loadout options? Let's begin. We believe a game thrives when it evolves alongside its player base, and your ideas and suggestions are a critical component of that evolution, allowing us to make adjustments that we believe will enhance the overall fun factor of the game. Our goal is to create a dynamic and engaging gameplay experience that remains challenging yet fair and fun, rewarding your strategic thinking and teamwork. Now, that's what they said, but what it feels as if it's happening is, anytime a new strategy is developed, even if it's not broken, it gets nerfed to the ground. A good weapon is being used a lot by people, nerfed to the ground. So those sentences don't really equate to reality, at least in my mind. And I'll say that if you're looking for fun, I'd really look into the ragdolling happening versus the automatons and probably get rid of headshot damage for players, like the players getting headshot for more than half their HP by the smallest monster, or reduce it by a lot. That's just my 2 cents. Moving forward, we would like to provide you with some context and reasoning behind the latest weapon balance. Slugger. By increasing the stagger force of the Slugger, kind of back to what it was, we hope to restore its identity that was lost after they made changes. The increased spread and drag should compensate for the improved stopping power and enhance the fantasy of a powerful shotgun firing large caliber rounds, while limiting its viability beyond medium range. Now, my question is, how come I can't kill a Shrieker from 80 meters, but in real life, slug shotguns have approximate range of 200 yards? 200 yards is 182 meters. Maybe some variance here and there, but I assume a slug shotgun can shoot past 80 meters. But in Helldivers 2, I can't kill a Shrieker. Just some food for thought, and I don't really quite understand the fact that they bring back the stagger force it already had. Maybe it's a bit better now, but they also feel the need to increase the spread and drag of a slug shotgun. Or maybe Slugger is just a made-up thing here. It doesn't actually mean it shoots slugs. I could be wrong on that. Still kind of strange. Breaker Incendiary, the big one that folks aren't happy about. After multiple changes to fire damage, the Incend Breaker quickly became one of the most powerful weapons in the game, as it absolutely dominated the Terminated frontline, and still does, and is a bit too reliable when facing the bugs. I don't like the use of reliable. That's not the word I want to see folks use when it comes to balance. It's too reliable. It's basically a good weapon. Really? Overshadowing the other weapons, because other weapons in this game, primaries for instance, are just not good. There's no reason to use them. That's why folks don't. That's why they're so easy to be overshadowed. By increasing the recoil and reducing the max number of magazines, we intend to make Incend Breaker more demanding for good ammo economy while keeping its immense power intact. I have not felt the recoil increase. I can see it in third person, but in terms of me hitting shots, nothing changed there. So I don't know what the deal is with increasing recoil constantly or drag and whatnot. I think that at a certain point, you're going past just trying to give it that realistic feel when using a weapon that's either bigger or smaller, and you're just trying to make it annoying to shoot a gun. Please stop doing that. It is weird. Same thing goes for reducing magazines. How many times will we lose magazine count? Is the goal to starve us of attrition? Is the goal to win by attrition and starve us of ammunition? Because I'm noticing more and more that if I don't bring supply backpack, I won't have ammo because my teammates are using the resupply, and chances are they use it and then die, which is fine, things happen. But I just don't really have ammo unless I bring supply backpack, which makes me reliant on that stratagem, and if I use it too much, it'll get nerfed. Like, the players will get another stratagem nerfed because you're forcing them to use it. You're making changes that impact players in so many different ways, and you are not keeping track of it. The reason why Incend Breakers use so much is because it's a good gun. It's a great gun. You could instead just buff other weapons that folks aren't using and make them worth using. Make them reliable. Give them more than this most specific niche possible. This gun's really good up close. That is all. I don't want to use that. All the ARs are bad in this game. Every single one. There's not a reason to use them whatsoever. And folks are still going to use Incend Breaker. These changes did next to nothing except for annoy them and remind them every time they have no ammo that you nerfed a weapon in the goofiest way possible. And that's just what's happening here. It's like, oh, no ammo? They nerfed it. Kind of weird. A grenade pistol got buffed. I like that a lot. The original version of the grenade pistol was quite inconsistent compared to the other weapons. It essentially tripled the amount of grenades available to the player, but required 4 ammo packs to be fully refilled. By reducing its ammo capacity, we want the choice of grenade pistol to be more deliberate. Supply backpack, I ain't got to think whatsoever, bro. I'm getting 16 extra rounds with my supply backpack. I'm going crazy. Don't nerf that. And we think that restoring more grenades from a single box will compensate for the loss of ammo and will make the grenade pistol more reliable for any mission type. Yeah, that's a good change. I like the thought process. I like the change. It feels good. Can we get some more feel-good changes such as this? Because this is a case where nerfing the ammo, I'm cool with, because you compensated it decent enough, actually more than good enough, with giving it more ammo from a resupply. That's amazing. Keep doing that stuff. Big ups. Exploding crossbow. Since the last patch, exploding crossbow still struggles to find its own niche as it has to compete with more reliable weapons. By making the crossbow a one-handed weapon, we hope to increase its versatility and offer new and interesting uses that will help it stand out from other options. I think that's a pretty good idea. Like, this is another unique idea to venture on. If it doesn't do enough, you can add something else to it later on. That is cool. Maybe increase the reload speed. It's better to buff a weapon in even a small way to give folks a reason and incentive to use it that's positive than it is to constantly nerf weapons with the intention and idea or hope that players will stop using said weapon because it got nerfed and then branch off into other weapons that still have no real reason to be used in the first place. It's not as if there's these weapons that are the cream of the crop and they're these hidden gems that folks just aren't using because Instant Breakers is so good. Other weapons just suck. I know they're on crossbow, but I just want to, like, Instant Breaker is a better example because crossbow is not the craziest weapon in the game. Then we have the Commando. The ability for the Commando missiles to destroy automaton fabricator buildings from any angle was unintended behavior. I would keep it. Just keep it, dude. However, this community clearly voiced their enjoyment of this particular bug. We do plan on fixing this, but have decided to take some time to think this through and not make any rash decisions on how best to rebalance this weapon. I feel like keeping it makes the most sense. Oh, it takes no skill. Who cares? Because you have to bring a Commando, which is wasting a slot for some people. A lot of folks won't have the uptime to make it useful. So if you're just bringing it to break fabricators, what's the big deal? And versus automatons, I do not think... honestly, I would say I can almost guarantee that anti-tank is just not that great. Missiles, recoilless rifle, Quasar, EAT-17, and Commando. Commando could be a bit better because you can use that to kill more gunships. If you have a weapon like, let's say, Railgun that can kill gunships a bit better now, but still not great, you now have the option. Or if you're using Arc Thrower. Arc Thrower can't reach gunships, so you bring Commando to take them down. That's when it gets a bit more useful, but in general, there's no reason to bring Commando versus the automatons unless you want to take out fabricators. Guarddog. Since release, the Guarddog has been outclassed by its laser counterpart because it's terrible. Guarddog is garbage. It is horrible. Feels bad to use, and honestly, I think that Guarddog Rover also does not feel great to use because it just does so much for you. There's no thought whatsoever. You just exist, you get more kills. Yay. Some folks like it, that's cool, but I think it's a pretty lame stratagem. It's the same reason why I don't like mortars that much. There's no thought involved. Less so with mortars, but you being the person existing, you're not trying to put yourself in a spot where Guarddog can hit shots. You're just running. You're just trying to exist. And Guarddog profits off that. Well, Guarddog sucks, but Guarddog Rover profits off that. The fact that it ran out of ammo too quickly and could not be refilled from ammo boxes found on the map, we believe that increased ammo capacity along with a fix to the ammo crates will improve its viability as support companion. It'll improve it, but it's still not worth using. You're wasting an entire stratagem slot on a Guarddog, a backpack that can shoot bullets, that won't be killing much of anything efficiently. It can kill hunters. Okay, I suppose, but who cares about that? You're trying to kill other things. You're trying to bring more firepower to kill the mobs that you can't kill with your primary. The whole goal of a primary is to fill the same role that Guarddog is trying to fill. Now, Guarddog Rover is good because it doesn't stop firing. And that's apparently an issue that will be nerfed in the future. Orbital Walking Barrage. Originally, the Walking Barrage was intended to suppress enemies during an advance. However, given the chaotic nature of orbital barrages, the Walking Barrage had no definite application as it felt too unreliable at times. The increased duration of the bombardment in combination with reduced movement speed should make the Walking Barrage saturate the area better, while covering about the same distance as before. Also a great change. That makes me want to use Orbital Barrage, and it's not even a crazy change. You see what I'm getting at here, folks? These small buffs to things give folks a want to use it. So unless you have a weapon or a strategy that's like is absurdly broken in the game, I don't see a point in nerfing it. And I don't think that popularity is the reason to nerf stuff. I think you're better off looking at why folks use a weapon, seeing if that use case is busted, and then going from there. I'll go back to Instant Breaker in a moment and explain why it's not that broken. Folks won't agree, but I'll still explain. Then we have Orbital 120 Barrage. Similarly to the Walking Barrage, the 120 millimeter barrage felt too random at times. If salvos missed the target or hit the same spot multiple times, it didn't feel great, I guess. With decreased cooldown, the 120 barrage will be accessible more often and should make randomness less punishing. Also a good change. Now back to Instant Breaker. The reason why it's not broken is because it just does what other guns should do in the same niche. And then in the Instant Breaker's case, it has more than just one lackluster niche. It has the close range, which does really well as a shotgun, obviously. You can do some medium range, hitting a shrieker from far away, one pellet, sets it on fire, it dies. That feels pretty good. And it just has reliability, consistency, and decent damage. It's not crazy versus brood commanders. It's not, especially not the buffed ones. It takes a lot of shots to kill them, and having less magazines now, folks might feel that. It's not a weapon that's crazy versus hive guards. It can kill them, but it's not great versus hive guards. So look at what Instant Breaker does that folks enjoy, which is being a very solid weapon against these small bugs, and it can still handle brute commanders, just not very great, and hive guards, just not very great either. And then make other weapons fill niches around it, or do the same thing but different. I think people are sleeping on the idea of doing the same thing but different. Look at the autocannon AMR. Autocannon does the same thing AMR does in terms of killing the same monsters, but autocannon does it faster because it has a backpack. AMR does it slower, but it has a better scope. And you can reload while moving. Do the same thing, but different, and profit. That's what people want in these games. Look at Monster Hunter Dauntless and other monster hunting games, where you have tons of different weapons that folks fall in love with for different reasons, but they all do the same thing. They all kill monsters. That's what they're all made to do. It's just, I want to understand the thought behind nerfing things in this game, because the nerfs almost never make sense. And the fact that we haven't seen buffs for Railgun or Arc Thrower is kind of ridiculous, because there's not really much thought being put into the fact that many weapons do not feel fun to use, and many folks are just not really using different weapons for good reasons, and instead all we see are the freaking glizzy gladiators for Helldivers 2 saying, well, the weapons are great because my teammates are holding my hand and they're doing everything for me. That makes a stalwart so good, guys. Constant excuses from the Stockholm Syndrome players that are Helldivers 2 players. The Stockholm Syndrome patients that are Helldivers 2 players. And I feel that that feedback is affecting how the game plays out, because the dev team does seem passionate, they seem to care, but I do believe that their core audience is full of Muppets, because their core audience doesn't know what they want. They get what they think they want, and when they get it, they don't even know, they don't like it, because lo and behold, they had no idea what they want to begin with. Anyway, that's the video, and I think that the new update, I like the addition of the new bugs, the new bots, but I don't particularly like the ragdolling against the automatons. I think headshots have got to go or get nerfed a lot. There should be a reason to use heavy armor to maybe reduce bullet flinch and ragdolling a bit more, while also reducing ragdolling in general, and that would improve the gameplay experience a lot. Just give people more options that feel meaningful, and spend less time nerfing things that people like using. Also, flamethrower. How come there's no mention of flame in this entire article? Where is that at? Did I miss it? There was no mention of flame damage before the freaking flame warbond happening tomorrow. Why y'all ducking smoke? Talk about it. Thanks again for watching, and have a good day.